I'm going to post this one on Facebook so you can see it on your Facebook page, okay?
All right, great.
All right, you are live on Facebook, and let me share that link with you onto your page.
Yay!
There you are. Awesome. All right,
All
you are
right.
live on Facebook, and let me share this link with you. Cool. Onto your page. All right. For everyone who's watching this Facebook
Yay!
page, thank you so much for visiting.
All right.
I have Stephanie Maj on. To share this over to her page. Onto your page. All right.
Okay, Eric. This is all, it's backing up. I hear my audio through.
There, that should be better.
Okay. All right. Hey, technical glitches on Facebook Live. It happens to everybody.
Gotta figure it out. Awesome.
I mean, part of it is just doing it, and I think that's awesome. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'll turn this. Oh, okay, awesome. No, I forget to figure this. Trying to make you. Awesome. All right.
All right.
Everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another Healthy Living with Eric Sue podcast, and a special guest today with Stephanie Maj. Can you check real quick, Stephanie, to see if your Facebook shows the live feed?
Okay, I'm going to look real quick here. Hold on one second. Dun, dun, dun. See, this is the best. When it's live, you get to see all the behind-the-scenes stuff, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's beautiful. Post, there I am. Yeah, we're in.
Awesome.
We're good.
Good deal.
Okay.
All right, welcome everyone. Like I said, this is Healthy Living with Eric Sue with a special guest today, Stephanie Maj. I'm going to start the recording in 3, 2. Are you ready, Stephanie?
Hold on one sec. Oh boy, hold on one second. I just want to make sure I allowed it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So there we go. So yeah, there we go. I'm ready to go.
And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, Eric Sue here. Welcome to another episode of Healthy Living with Eric Sue. We have an outgoing and hard-working chiropractor. Her name is Stephanie Maj. We'll be talking about building resilience from the inside out. So without any delay, let me introduce you all to Stephanie. Stephanie, are you ready to make it happen?
I am ready to make it happen. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Great. Stephanie started in 1996. She's been running a family-oriented subluxation-based wellness practice in Chicago, where she specializes in pediatric, pregnancy, family, and wellness care. Dr. Maj is certified in pediatrics and the Webster Technique from the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association. She has a Bachelor's of Science in Clinical Nutrition and a Doctorate in Chiropractic. Dr. Maj is a member of the Royal Knights of the Chiropractic Roundtable, on the board of the League of Chiropractic Women, International Chiropractic Pediatric Association, and the World Congress of Chiropractic Women. A lot of chiropractic words in there. Either way, she's an awesome person, and that was just a little bit. Can you share with the audience a little bit more on how you got started?
Well, first off, thank you so much for doing this, and it's really exciting. I love talking about what I do, and I love that, I don't know, I'm always moved when I'm in this. There's so much. Today I had somebody just telling me everything that's going wrong with the world, and then when I sit here with you and I think of all the effort and energy you're putting out for good, that it just shows me the exact opposite. It shows me everything that's going right with them, and I love that. I'm a chiropractor. I've been a chiropractor I just celebrated 21 years in my practice. I just turned 51 on Saturday. So I have these milestones in my life, and And, I've been a chiropractor since, for a really long time. It was a passion that I always wanted to help kids. I never really thought it would be through chiropractic, but it is. And one of the ways that we got in contact with each other is that, to make a long story short, I turned 50 last year. And in my 50th year, I decided that there were so many people that were talking about being old. I'm 50, I'm old. I decided that I wanted to do something different. And so I decided to start a podcast to help people see that there were things that they could do to stay healthy, even as they age. So that, really in a way, my podcast is called Women Seeking Wellness. People get to a fork in the road. Now, my podcast is directed at women, but I have so many men that listen because, we're all humans. And so you get the decision. You can either decide to give up, and just kind of let inertia take over in aging, right, or you could be more proactive. And my job is really to help educate people in all different ways on how to be well and the different choices that they can make on that journey and to take the fork in the road that leads them that way. It takes more energy, as you get older to stay healthy, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. And so that's a lot of what we talk about, and how inner resilience really came up as a topic and and kind of an overriding theme of the year.
Yeah, awesome. Mm-hmm. I just turned 40 last year, so big milestone for me too. So we'll dive into all this a little bit more. Let our audience learn a little bit more about you. What's one cool or unique fact about yourself?
Well, my grandfather, I'm 6 foot tall. My grandfather was the world weightlifting champion in the 1933 World's Fair. Ooh. So we have pictures of him, John Mallow. We have pictures of him lifting Model Ts up. And, there's one very famous picture where he has the dumbbell, the bar and the dumbbells, and he has two guys hanging off the sides of the dumbbells. And so I got my 6 foot stature from him, and as a chiropractor, I use it wisely.
Oh, awesome. Got to get an adjustment from you now. Awesome. We discussed a little bit, and after some time, we got to this topic of building resilience from the inside out. And, you wanted to share with us a little bit more. How could you describe that to us and to the audience?
Well, I don't, for me, I'm not really a political person. So as I start this conversation, I want to parentheses. This isn't about who won the political things, the presidential election and who lost. It really isn't about that. It's about what has happened as a result. This world has become very polarizing, and the Facebook feeds and everything, there's a lot of negativity in the world. And so no matter where you go and on what side of the issues that you fall, there's always somebody screaming that the sky is falling. And so just like talking about the aging conversation, this idea that for me, what became really clear is that no matter where people are at, we have very little control over what happens on the public stage, on what happens in the news and what is happening. We really have very little control. What we do have control of is what's right around us. And so if I am feeling powerless, what happened after that is there was a lot of feelings of powerlessness and a lot of feelings of hopelessness and a lot of people, wishing things were different, or even the people that their candidate won, filled with, this just a lot of that. So that does not make for happy, healthy living. So what I've started to focus on with my patients and with my podcast listeners are what are the things you can do internally in yourself to make you more resilient. So the idea is that if my energy vibration or who I am is in such a weakened state that the world around us, that vibration is too loud, it will bowl me over. And there have been lots of times in my life where I felt like I just got run over by life. If I have these tools, and so we're going to talk about some of those things, if I spend my energy and time focusing on what ways I can build my inner resilience, then my personal vibration becomes strong enough that the world doesn't affect me as much. My bubble stays intact rather than my bubble getting popped by the negativity or the opinions of others or the arguing that happens in certain arenas. So that's how the whole inner resilient conversation started for me.
What are you noticing with maybe the patients you are dealing with beyond the public and so forth? What's happening?
Well,
what changes are happening?
Well, I find that people's stress level, stress is like a real thing. That is, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions. And you're smiling and laughing because you know this from what you do for a living. And stress is like a real thing. So if you think about like George W. Bush, when he started his presidency, he looked like a baby. So young. 8 years later, he looked like a grandpa. Like stress has a negative effect on a cellular level. It ages our body prematurely. So it also has other ways. And I feel like what has happened is that people are in a pressure cooker. And if they don't have ways to vent that pressure, it's going to come out sideways. So that sideways might be like immune system is a big thing. Like when you have high stress, your immune system does this. And so a lot of people are sick. This year has just been ear infections and flus and colds. And so for me, again, I'm not really treating the colds. What I'm trying to do is help heal the body's stress level by removing interference in the nerves. And if I can get their nerves to heal, then their immune system can come back up, and then their body can be healthier and not be susceptible to every little microorganism floating around the air.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not chasing anything. You're really getting to the root issues.
Exactly. And the same with this stress physiologically in your body, it can show up as, tightness or, those stress areas, wherever those are. Everybody has a different one. Sometimes it's the shoulder, sometimes it's the low back. So I've noticed more of that because, again, if all the stress is coming in and you're not doing anything to either make you resilient or heal from it, it's going to make you sick. And it's like a chain link. You pull that link in the chain and it's going to break at the weakest link. And everybody has a different weakest link. It can be your stomach, it can be sinuses, headache,
those are
emotional
results.
I'm sorry.
Right? Is that what you're referring to? Their physical results?
Physical results, yeah.
Because stress is a really, you can't see it, right? You can't see it. No one sees it. And it just happens to us. Or is it happening because we let it happen to us? What's your thoughts?
Yes and yes. I think that it happened. Like, I don't feel like I let what happened in the election happen to me and what's happening on the stage right now, like in the political. But what do I have an effect on? Do I watch it? And so for me, I am on a huge news fast. I don't really, and I never really have, but for a while it was like a gaper's delay. Like you see the accident, you slow down to see what's going on. So I would do that. I'd slow down around the news channels. And so you're right. It's like some of it happens to us. We don't have any control over it. But also we choose it. So do I choose to continually have conversations about it or continually engage in it? Or do I choose to spend my energy on things that I can help, like actual people that need my attention and help? If I can spend my time making myself healthier and my family healthier and my relationships better, then what's happening out there in the world becomes less of an issue for me.
Right.
Not that I don't care, and I'm not putting my head in the sand, but for me, what I did was I said, these are the things I believed in. These are the situations and the causes that I really resonate with. And I gave my money to organizations that I trust will do the work that I believe in. And then I do the work that I have, which is right around my feet, rather than spending time on arguing about things I have no control over.
Yeah. Is there a self-assessment you could share with the audience to let them know whether or not they have fallen into this sort of black hole that you may have described?
Well, there's this, I believe it's called a value wheel. If you Google value wheel and Google the images, you're going to see a pie chart, and it's going to have separations in the pie chart. And each line is how do you rate your health around these areas? Finances, physical health, diet, your family, relationships, your job, your play, those types of things. And then you draw the circle and you start to see where your weak points are that you could put some attention into. So that, yes, that you have some stress in that area. How can you put some attention to helping that?
Yeah. Awesome. Mm-hmm. So look it up on Google, and it was the value wheel or something like that?
I think it's a value wheel is what it's called. Yeah. There's a bunch of different ones, but you're gonna find a lot of information about that.
And so what are some strategies you may have to share with us regarding how to bounce back, how to have that resilience?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think that, really there's a couple different ways. For me, I have to look at my own body. Like, my own physical body is the vehicle that I'm experiencing everything through. So if I am physically unhealthy, then everything that I perceive in this world is coming through that lens. So really looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, okay, what are some action steps I could do to be healthier? Is that, drinking less pop or alcohol or coffee, or is that going for a walk, or is that, having some green vegetables, or losing a little weight, or, physically, is there something that you're ignoring that maybe you need to go see a practitioner about, a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, your medical doctor, massager? Like, a lot of that head in the sand creates worry, and that worry lowers your resilience. So it makes you more susceptible to worry about other things. So that's one thing. The second thing is really trying to carve out some time to be quiet. I just was listening to somebody called a Buddhist woman, Tara Brach. I don't know if you've ever heard her podcast. No. It's amazing. No. She was talking about how and there's more and more research about meditation, and there's 1 million apps. And I'll tell you right now, if you go to drmaj.com/bundle, I have a bundle of information, and in that information, all this information about my podcast, there is a meditation hack one that I did that has been listened to by thousands of people. Different ways to quiet yourself. So trying to get into that meditative state. There's so much research about the benefits. But I find that the only way to build my own inner resilience is to get quiet and to quiet my mind and my body. Now, sometimes that's sitting in quiet, meditating, but a lot of times, I don't know about you, Eric, but I have trouble quieting my mind. So guided meditations that take me through a process, a lot of times are more beneficial to me than just sitting, because sometimes I'll just sit and think for 15 minutes, and I'll catch myself thinking, and I know that's part of the meditation, but if they can lead me, and there's apps, and that's part of the hacks, are the different apps and the different ways that you can actively meditate, especially until you get better at it and can just be quiet with it.
Yeah, and all of
and
this
then
is
go ahead.
to just a developed personal, it's like someone's building a muscle, right? And they have to continue working
Yeah.
on it. And so these are the things that you're speaking about, right? Just building that self confidence, building that mindset, right?
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. Like it's a muscle. It's repetition over time. That takes, in order to create habits, in order to create muscles, it's repetition over time. You got to just keep doing it. And just like this podcast, like we're on Facebook Live, we have a little computer glitch, we're doing it. And you know what? We're not doing it perfectly, but guess what? We're making it, we're sharing our message, which is the most important thing. And we're not letting perfectionism get in the way of us being here and doing this, right?
Right. We're going to break through.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And the last thing that I really find is helpful for me is putting pen to paper and journaling. So I have found that over the years that when I consistently journal, and sometimes my journals are very directed, and sometimes my journals are dumps. Like what I mean by dump is what they talk about in the artist way being like the morning pages. Like you try to just write everything going on in your brain to try to get it out of your brain so that you have a clean slate. And so I got recommended to do this subconscious dump. And I will do it like on airplanes. And sometimes when I'm feeling like really agitated and I can't get any clarity, I can't shut my brain off. My brain tends to race and ruminate. I'll set a timer for 45 minutes. I'll put a pen and paper in front of me and I'll just start writing. And I will just write, even if you write, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. This isn't helping. I don't have anything to say. But literally most of the time the timer's going off and I'm in the middle of the thought because it's just all in there. And then maybe of all those pages, there's like 5 things that actually need an action. And I always write that at the top because I don't ever go back and read it. I don't want to read that stuff. I just look at the top and it's like, oh, send this form to my accountant. Like I've kept that looping around in my brain. And so it just helps clear it. If you do that on a regular basis, it is also a neurologic thing to put your pen and your eyes on a piece of paper and you're right. That actually does something neurologically to help our brains quiet rather than like typing on a keyboard. It's not the same.
Right. Wow, those are some great tips. I want to say that the last one's probably the most powerful, maybe? I don't know. Or the meditation. Which one?
I think they all work hand in hand. But yeah, I mean, there are times where I think meditation is like, and other times where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so in love with my journal right now, and I geek out on different journals and different, I try all different stuff. Pens.
Just real quick here, I forgot that there's a time limit to this Zoom thing that I'm using, right? So you probably are noticing this time thing that's showing up on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of have to wrap this up a little earlier than I wanted to. However, there's always opportunities to do it again.
Okay, great.
For those who are watching this Facebook Live or even on the replay, I've got this simulcast also on YouTube. And maybe we'll have Stephanie come back and definitely share a little bit more about this resiliency as well as what she does. And speaking of what she does, in a few minutes here, share with us what do you do, and specifically at your office and where it is and all that good stuff.
Well, thank you again, Eric. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's been a great pleasure. And I'm a chiropractor. I'm on the north side of Chicago. I'm a podcaster. You can find me on my physical address in Chicago by going to communitychiropractic.net. And if you're looking for me online, any of my messaging or any of the programs that I have online, that would be drmaj.com, drmaj.com. And like I said, if you're interested in just a bundle of the information that my speakers have given, as well as the digital copy of my book, I wrote a book, You Can Be Well. I would love to give that gift to your listeners. And you would just go to drmaj.com/bundle, BUNDLE. And that digital file will be sent right to your inbox.
Super. we got about 2 minutes approximately.
Okay.
As I look at my notes here. And what would be one last Dr. Maj piece of advice that you could share with us?
I would say the one last piece of advice is sometimes when you're looking at your life and you're like, you got to remember that if you spend any time on Facebook, it's really fake book. Everybody that's on there, no one's like having a bad hair day and deciding to put that on Facebook. Or my husband and I just got into a fight. Let me put that as a picture on there. People, and I catch myself doing it too, like, oh, this would be a great Facebook moment. You know what I mean? I'm like climbing a mountain, So, remembering that and remembering to look at your life and go, okay, remembering that for number one, it's all image. But also when you're looking at those things that you want to change, pick one of the things that we talked about and do it. And try to do it for 21 days. If it's meditating, I don't care if you meditate for 5 minutes, do it every day. I don't care if you pick that writing, making the commitment to do that on a regular basis, you're going to notice a difference. If you try to do too many things, it's like if I give somebody 15 stretches, they're not going to do any of them. If I give them 1 or 2, they'll do them.
Yeah, awesome. Great advice. Awesome info. Our audience is going to probably replay this over and over again. I got maybe a few seconds left, so I'll let you go, Stephanie. It was fun. I really appreciate you first to do the simulcast with the YouTube, so good job. And hopefully the sound actually caught this time. But anyhow, we'll talk about that later, and I will let you go. And have a great day.
All right. Thank you so much.